Hello, welcome to Embers and Insights. I am Wuta Fahari. If this is your first time visiting with us, we are delighted that the universe has led you to this side of the tarot world. If you have been visiting with us before and you're an old friend, welcome back. Oh, not old, but just a friend. Welcome back. We're happy that you have decided to spend time with us around the fire again today. Today, we will be studying the tarot step by step, one card at a time as a collective. We will then pull everything together for a final reading. So, if this is your first time picking up a deck of tarot cards or you are a seasoned reader, this place is for you. So, you ready? Let's settle in, let's get comfy, sip on whatever you choose to sip on, and let's allow the embers to glow and the insights to flow. One card, one lesson, one beautiful moment at a time. Today, our question is I'm successful, so why am I still unfulfilled? This is an age old question. Many of us have this question. We heard people talk about it when we were younger, and now we find some of us ourselves in this same place. I have done everything conventional wisdom says I am supposed to do. I've done everything society says I'm supposed to do. I go to church. I spend time in prayer. I have a husband. I have a wife. I have the children. I have a successful career. I'm able to pay my bills, and I have money in excess of my bills. So, according to man, according to society, I am successful and I have all those things that I need. Then why do I feel unfulfilled? And so today, we will be allowing the tarot to answer that question. We will be allowing spirit to speak with us to the tarot to help us understand why some of us feel unfulfilled. So as we shuffle, we think about our question. Why do I feel unfulfilled? Why do I have all that I need according to man, according to society? Why do I have all of those things and yet I still feel unfulfilled? I am successful and unsuccessful at the same time. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Also, the cards that I use in my pool will be represented below with a link if you want to take a look at them, purchase them, or whatever you would like to do. This is a safe space. Why do I feel unfulfilled? One more time. I'm looking for jumpers. I am successful. I have all that I need. According to man, why do I feel unfulfilled? Death card. Three of Swords. High Priestess. Three of Wands. I am successful. Why am I still feeling unfulfilled? And that is all. And we have the Strength card. So the way we will read the tarot and study the tarot, we will speak of the numerology first and what those numbers mean, and then we will talk about the suit of the card if it is available, and the numerology, of course, if it is available, and then we will begin to talk about the symbolism that we see on the card, because a lot of time the symbolism connected with the question can tell you what the card is about, that individual card, and then when you connect it to your question, it helps to answer the question, and that's how we read the tarot. So we will start with the Death card, which is the number 13. The first thing I would like to say is that cards are not here to either crown us or curse us. And so there is no such thing as a bad card. And I know a lot of times when we get cards like the Devil card or the Death card, it kind of throws us off and makes us feel less positive. However, cards are reading the energy that surrounds that particular question. So our question is, I am successful. I have done what man has said that I needed to do to be happy, to be comfortable, to feel complete. However, I feel that there's something missing, and why am I feeling that way? So when we look at the Death card, it is represented by the number 13. When we see a two-digit number in numerology related to the tarot, we combine the number into, we add it and we combine them to make one number. And so a 1 and a 3 makes the number 4. The number 4 is going to be about stability, creating something that is solid, creating something that is firm, and something that is not very movable. It is also about control and organization. When we look at the symbolism of this card, we see the death angel or a death entity riding through a what appears to be place or a habited place where there has been some type of war. You can tell by his, or some type of conflict, and you can tell by his attire that he was involved in this conflict. You see that there are people who have perished and are not doing well. And so you see also individuals who are feeling as if they need to surrender, ask for mercy surrounding him, and he is riding through in a victorious manner on his white horse. White horse represents purity, it represents forward progress and moving forward. So, after this war, after this conflict, he is victorious and he is riding through proclaiming and standing in his success. However, it is not a good outcome for those that he is riding through. This card is about endings as well as beginnings. This card is about change and transformation, something that once was being no more, but letting go of those things that are no longer serving us in order to begin or to grab hold of that new thing, that thing that has been put in place after the transformation. This card is about transition, a metamorphosis, again, transformation, change. And this card is about the end of a cycle. So again, why am I not feeling successful? Why am I not feeling like I have arrived if all of the data is pointing to that I have arrived? I have done the things that I'm supposed to do. I feel I am successful on paper, but I feel depleted. I don't feel like I have obtained those things that the those who are looking on the outside, looking in, what they see is not what I'm feeling. We then have the 3 of Swords. The number 3 is going to represent, and it is just like the number 13. So we're seeing a continuation of that energy. That number 3 is representing something coming into being. It is representing a manifestation of something. It is after that first seed of the number one has been planted, and it is the birthing forth of something, but it is also the beginning stages, or the first stage of moving to an end, the first stage of completion. It is about growth, it is about expansion and progression. And so it is basically, not basically, but it has some of the same energy of that death card of ending, going into a beginning, and the ending stages of something, of the completion of something, the end of something, but also progressing forward and that expanding forward. When we look at sword energy, we are thinking of, or we are, this energy represents energy that is very cerebral, that is very intellectual. It is not heart energy, it is not emotional energy, it is not the energy of pentacles that is possession energy, but it is that energy of how am I thinking about something? What are my thought process toward something? It is also about communication, the ability to communicate effectively, or the inability to communicate effectively. Sword energy is that energy of intellect, as we said, of communication, and of stability. Sword energy is very swift moving energy, that when you see sword energy, you can expect to see this energy appear in a matter of hours or even days. So it is very quickly moving. However, when we look at the symbolism of this card, it begins to unfold a different story. And so you see sword energy, you see the sword piercing through a heart. You see rain in the symbolism of this card, as well as dark clouds. So it speaks of a dark time, it speaks of sadness, it speaks of loss and grief. The the piercing of a heart, the piercing of our emotions. So it is typically, swords don't involve emotions, but in this case, it is about emotional pain. It is about heartbreak. It is about suffering. It's about hurt. It can be about divorce or loss or some type of depression. We then have the high priestess card, which is represented by the number two. And when we speak of the numerology of the number two, we are definitely talking about some type of balance, some type of choice. We can also be talking about dualism, that meaning the polarization of two things, the black and white of things that are polar opposites, and trying to make a decision with those two polar opposites there. When we look at the symbolism of this card, we see the high priestess, who is sitting in her position. She is fruitful. You see the abundance of the pomegranate behind her, and you also see, however, the B and the J, one being black and one being white, and it represents the balance between the subconscious and the consciousness. It represents the balance between the physical and the non-physical, and our divine receptors receiving divine messages, divine energy, and that connection with the divine, versus the connection with those things that are right before us, that energy of something that we can see and smell and taste, or somehow experience in our five senses. And so this is all about balance, and this card represents intuition, having sacred knowledge, that subconsciousness that comes from that divine. It is the divine feminine. It is about trusting your own beliefs, trusting your own understanding, trusting your own intuition, understanding how you are and what your needs are at the subconscious level, it is about sensitivity and purity and those high morals that we have. We then have the Three of Wands, and there's that number 3 again, representing that first stage of completion, representing that new beginning, that thing that has birthed forth. The number 3 can be represented by a triangle, which is also a foretelling or a foreshadowing or symbolism for the birth canal. So something coming forth into being and expansion again, progression, moving forward, leaving things behind, and moving forward. When we look at the suit of the card, this is wand energy. Again, wand energy is also fast moving energy. So this energy that we are speaking of is moving quickly in our lives. And so many of you may be feeling kind of overwhelmed by this energy. It may feel like you cannot escape the feeling, regardless of what you do, regardless of how you convince yourself otherwise. You are feeling overcome, overwhelmed, overexerted, that you are putting too much into something that should be settled. You are putting too much into something that should be right, but you have to put in effort to make it feel right, and that should not be. And so when we look at wand energy is also about desire. So back to timing of wand energy. The sword energy that we talked about was energy that is moving within hours and days, and then wands is right behind that. Wands is days and no more than 2 weeks. So again, this energy is pressing us on all sides. Wand energy is about transformation. It is about desire. It is about moving forward, progressing, things that are happening very quickly. Wand energy is about things coming into being and coming into being very quickly. You will see when you look at the wands, they have sprouted leaves. And so that's something is coming on the horizon. Something has been birthed. And that's back to that number 3 again. When you look at the symbolism of this card, this individual has his back turned to us, which means he is leaving behind things that are in place. He has made a decision to move forward and to leave some things behind. He is surveying the land, so he's looking at the possibilities. He's looking for a plan. He's strategizing. He hasn't left yet, but he has made the decision to leave, and now he is developing this plan for moving forward and leaving things behind. He is ready for this transformation. He is ready to progress. He is ready to move forward. So this card is about preparation. It is about progress. It is about foresight. It is about expansion and possibly some type of overseas opportunity or venture. And then finally, we have the strength card, which is represented by the number 8. The number 8 is a very interesting number. And so I'm going to back up for a little bit to talk about a few numbers. So when we see the number 5, we know that the number 5 is about some type of instability, some type of chaos, something being shaken up, but something that's being shook up all of a sudden. It is very surprising to us. It was something that was unexpected, but now there is some type of instability. The number 6, when you move on from the number 5, is creating balance and creating harmony and creating alignment out of that chaos. The number 7 is about taking a step back, looking at that chaos, looking at the plan that we have for creating stability, thinking that number 7, that number 6, that thinking about what needs to take place in order to create this stability out of that number 5. What needs to take place to create harmony and alignment? That number 7 is coming up with that plan and putting that plan into motion. And then the number 8 is mastering that plan and continuing to work through that plan and seeing that plan through. This number 8 is also about power and control. When we look at the symbolism of the Strength card, we see a infinity symbol over the head of the feminine character. And that infinity sign represents a continuation that you will see the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10 throughout your journey in life until completion. Because life has an ebb and flow. Life has a continuation of events and a continuation of our journey and of our growth. And we always say that you are never absolutely wrong, you are never absolutely right, and you are never absolutely done. And that is what that infinity is about. You can't be completely right and you can't be completely wrong at all times, because time is changing, time is transforming, time is having an ebb and a flow, and it's a continuation. So the moment that you are right, you begin to move into maybe not always all the way right. There are some things that you could tweak. And then the moment you are wrong, but you weren't all the way wrong, so there's all this ebb, this flow, and this continuation of our journey. When you look at what she's wearing white, and she has flowers that have bloomed. So what this is represented is that out of her 5, out of her 6, out of her 7, and in her 8, she has developed into this perfectly capable being. Her experiences have brought her to where she is. She has wisdom. She does things intentionally. She is alone, but she is not lonely. She is right where she needs to be, and she is standing in her truth. And because of that, she is able to open the mouth of this lion, not physically, but because she is meeting him where he is, and he is meeting her where she is. He understands her authority over him, not her physical strength over him. He's definitely stronger, but because of his respect for her, because of her standing in her place of truth, in her place of authority, he is opening his own mouth for her. And she doesn't have to use her brute strength to be to open his mouth, because she has influence over him, because she is standing in her place, her rightful place. And behind her, you see plush grounds, you see green, you see mountains, which represent success, which represent growth, represents fertility and abundance that has not come easy. That's that mountain. There have been obstacles in the way, and that continuation, that infinity sign, shows that there will continue to be obstacles in the way, but they will be overcome as long as we are standing in our right place and we are doing what we are supposed to be doing, here and here and here. All of those things have to be in place. There has to be a balance. And so this card represents courage and passion and subtle power and persuasiveness and influence, our inner strength, our focus, and our compassion. So pulling it all together with our question. The High Priestess is saying to us, Spirit is saying to us, you are asking this question because intuitively, subconsciously, you know that there's an imbalance. You know that there's a choice that you have to make, because on your way to harmony and on your way to completion and on your way to alignment, something is off. Something is not right. And Spirit is saying with the High Priestess, you are correct. Your intuition is right. And Spirit is saying, trust yourself. This is not just all in your head. This is not something that you are just thinking. Your divine feminine spirit, whether you are a male or a female in your physical frame, your divine spirit, your divine feminine is letting you know that something is off, and that there is a sacred knowledge that you have that I need to be doing something different. I need to be in a different place. Although the paperwork says I have everything I'm supposed to have and I have joined myself to everything that I'm supposed to join myself to, this imbalance in my spirit is right. There's something that is missing. The Three of Swords is telling you that the reason that you are stuck in this place is because you are very concerned about the heartbreak that this will cause. You know what needs to happen. You know what needs to be done. You know pretty much that a plan needs to be put in place. The Three of Wands is saying you have surveyed the land, you've looked over the land, you have pretty much decided what you need to do, but you are very, very concerned about the heartbreak that it will cause, about the loss that it will cause. Will there, if I walk away from this career, will there be some type of financial loss that I cannot recover from? If I walk away from this partnership that I created, be it a company or be it a relationship or even a marriage, if I walk away from this relationship, even with my adult children, and maybe they are starting to be, you can tell that it's time to release them to some extent. We never really truly completely let go of our children, but where they are and where they have decided to be, it is important for you, and you know it, to release them, to learn some lessons at this point. But you are very concerned about whether or not that releasing them too far may be more harmful or more detrimental than you are willing to risk. It may be that there's a friendship that you need to let go of, and you're concerned of that kind of backfiring. I just heard you have maybe told some secrets to this best friend that you now are concerned maybe leaked somewhere else. If you kind of let this relationship completely go, you feel like you need to kind of keep your eye on it. And I don't know where that's coming from, but because that is a very interesting and just a very interesting revelation or something to hear during this message, because it's kind of off a little bit, but there's somebody out there who's very concerned about that. And if this is about a divorce or moving away from a romantic relationship, the high priestess reminds you that yes, you are right, there's something wrong, it's not what it should be, and there needs to be some type of balancing going on and a choice that needs to be made. And again, the Three of Swords is saying that you are afraid of what loss may occur if you make that decision. The Death card is here to remind us that you're thinking this way and you're feeling this way because, like the infinity that we saw with the Eight of the Strength card, with that Strength card, the Death card is reminding us that you're going through this transition or this transformation. And in this transformational period, you are understanding, or you are coming to a knowledge of, this is not where I need to be. You have thoughts, you have pulled back, you have weighed your options, you have pros and cons this situation to death with the Death card. And in your transformation, in your metamorphosis, you know that this thing, in the way that it is presented, now and the way that it's showing up now, you cannot bring it forward with you. You cannot carry on this way. In order to step into your new place, in order to move on, in order to reach that feeling of, or that acknowledgement and knowing deep inside that you are where you need to be, this relationship, this connection, this partnership has run its course. It has come to an end, and it needs to be released. It needs to be let go of. And yes, Three of Swords, there will be some pain, there will be some grief, there will be some sorrow, there will be some sadness. But as you can see, with this Three of Swords, the symbolism, you see rain, and the rain is driven fast. And when you see driven rain in a tarot sense, it represents something that will come in hard, something will come in fast, something that will be very aggressive, but it will be short-lived. So as hard and as quick as the grief comes in, it will settle, and it will be calmer skies. It will, the pain, the disappointment, the sadness may still linger for a while, but that heavy hurt, that heavy pain will remain. And again, the Death card is saying it is time to move on. It is time to transition, and you can't take this thing with you. The Three of Wands is reminding us that once you make that decision and you turn your back on life as you know it now, and you decide to move on, this has already been done. And this card is saying, for some of you, you're fooling yourself if you don't think you've already made the decision. If you don't think that heart, that pain and that sorrow is already being experienced by the thing, the person, the job, the relationship that you're letting go of, or that you've already decided to let go of in your spirit and in your subconsciously, that pain is already there. They're already sensing it. They're already going through it. They're just waiting for that big ball to drop. They are waiting for the cord to be cut, because they know that it's already, they are already experiencing it. They may already be asking you to, are bargaining with you. You see that on the Death card with the symbolism. They may already be bargaining with you for ways that you can save it, and ways that we can stay, and it can look like this, and we can do it like this. And the tarot is saying, no, it needs to just be a transformation, a moving on, a progressing forward. It doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to be mean. You can prepare. You can prepare them. You can prepare yourself. You can survey kind of what things look like on the other side of this decision, but make no mistake, the decision has been made. It has been made subconsciously, and you need to move therein. And then finally, we have the Strength card that talks about courage. It talks about passion. It talks about focusing, and really just standing in your truth, standing in who you are, understanding that life has ebbs and flows, and life is a continuous journey. You will continue to transition. You will continue to transform. You may not always continue to leave things behind as you move forward, but whatever the decision is, you need to stand in it, and you need to be intentional about it, just as she is intentional. And you need to stand in your power, and stand in who you are, and stand, as the kids say, 10 toes down on your decision, knowing that there will be conflict along the way. There will be some struggles. There will be some mountains that you see in the symbolism that you need to go over, that you need to go around, and sometimes, God forbid, even go through. But please stand in that decision that has already been made. Walk therein, walk through, and in time, things will get bigger. But the question is, the answer is, you are not fulfilled even though you are successful. because you are not standing in your rightful place, and because you are trying to take things along with you that are not meant to go along with you as you transform and transition. And that is why you are feeling unfulfilled. And I am going to pull a wisdom oracle card. The link to these cards can be found at the bottom in the details section. Let's see what the wisdom oracle has to say about feeling unfulfilled, although you are a success. Feeling unfulfilled in your fulfillment on paper. Why am I still feeling unfulfilled? Knowing what I know now, knowing what the tarot has said, what does the wisdom oracle have for me? For a jumper, why am I still feeling unfulfilled? Last time. Feeling that I need to shuffle this one. That may have been it. Oh, there we are. And we have received the Imagine card. Imagine. Turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity and illusion. What do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power to imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. This is a time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feels or feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if it were magic. In the matter of relationship, it matters. It matters at the heart. It's easy to daydream about another as a means of connecting to that person. While that's romantic, if you want this relationship to be real, you need to go for it, not just dream about it. Now is the time to move beyond the daydream and into reality, beyond illusion and into fruition. Relationships are about relating, so step out into the dance floor where the imagination partners will manifest. The message of this card is that a person with attributes you have imagined will soon enter your life. You'll be changed for the better. Imagine that. And then finally, if we're talking about prosperity, this is a powerful time to get clear on how you create your prosperity, what it means to you to be prosperous, and what attributes you need to develop in yourself to make things happen. So, in light of why I don't feel successful, even though on paper I look successful, The Imagine card is saying you need to determine what prosperity is to you. What does it look like? What does it mean? Go back to that Three of Wands and prepare and survey the land and look out to see what's out there, to see what opportunities are out there and what prosperity looks like for you. What do you need to be to live out your dreams? Can you imagine the kind of life you desire? I mean, really imagine it without holding back the sheer force of your powers of creativity. If you can envision it, you can have it. Get ready for prosperity. It is waiting for you to claim it now. Act as if your dreams have already really come true. So, why do I not feel successful although I look successful on paper? Number one, because you need to accept that what you're feeling and what you know are actually a reality. It is not just something you've made up. It is the the truth. It is trusting yourself. It is sacred knowledge that you are receiving, and you need to walk in it. Don't hesitate to figure out, imagine, think about what prosperity looks like to you, and know what part of your life doesn't represent that right now. And yes, it's going to cause some pain. Yes, it's going to cause some grief. Three of Swords. But the Death card, you need to walk in it. You need to hold your head up high. You need to claim your position. You need to stand within it, with it, stand in it. Don't take bargains from those who want to move on with you that are not meant to go with you. Make a clean break. Be gentle, be kind, be loving, but be clear and communicate exactly what it is that you desire, what prosperity looks like to you in any type of relationship, whether it be a job, a career, a friendship, a romantic relationship, or even a marriage, or even a connection with your own personal children. Survey the land, take the opportunities, prepare for the opportunities, even prepare the other person if you can, and then stand in your truth. The Strength card, be who you are, accept your position in life, accept the journey that you are on, and work through it with intention, with strength, and with courage, and be blessed as you go, and be blessed as you leave, because you don't have to, if someone is left alone, they don't have to be lonely. They can also learn to stand in who they are and in their own strength and in their own passion and in their own courage. Amen. So, this has been today's Flicker from the Flame. May the wisdom of the tarot linger with you long after the candles have burned low. And may the embers that we've stirred today guide you gently home to yourself. If this has resonated with you, or if you feel like someone else needs to have it or see it or listen to it, please don't forget to like and share, because we like it when you like and we love it when you share. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any future calls from around the flame. Again, I am Wuta Fahari, and this has been Embers and Insights. Bye bye.